Hello. I need alcohol is the subject of this video, and it's a little bit deceptive, and it's to lure people. And the problem is that nothing can be said to you if you are drinking over the limits. If you drink regularly or excessively, if you exceed the limits, if you think that you need alcohol, there's nothing I can say to you. There's nothing that could be said to me, but you're wrong, and I was wrong. And I would watch documentaries, read books about alcohol. I knew all about the damages. There's no scare tactics that will do anything. You are fooled. You are the mistress. When there's only thing that can make you realize is after you have stopped. That's the only way that you can stop, is to have already stopped. It's starting to rain. We'll see how we do. Yeah, you might find yourself on the streets eventually. But as I said, there's no point in scare tactics. I want to say to you that the old there's a Homer Simpson joke. Alcohol, the cause and solution to all of life's problems. But it's not the solution. It's that's where you're fooled. That's where you think, all my stresses, they've gone now because of the alcohol. They've gone for a short moment or two. But the problem is that most of these things that you think are your stresses, maybe all of them, and you won't know until you're at least 3 months without any alcohol at all. I will just say that quickly, because we're now 3 minutes in, there are some people who do physically need alcohol, and you may well be one of them. And it can kill you if you are physically dependent, if you suddenly stop cold turkey. So don't do that. And a surprisingly small amount will have you addicted. And going a few days, and you might not realize, even if you're drinking a small amount, you might think, oh, this thing here, this thing, life's not so good as it was. And it's not that life's not as good as it was. It's you're in withdrawal, and you're with withdrawal, really, mentally at least, for months, maybe even years, because your whole life gets built around master alcohol that you think is your servant, but you're so fooled. You are the servant. I think in the UK, the recommended, not the recommended, no recommended, I don't think, but the safe limit for a male was, at least at one point, 21 units of alcohol a week. And that's not, drinking every day is not recommended either as a safe thing, I don't think. That's a very, very small amount. I don't know. You'd have to look that up. But just to illustrate the power of this stuff, a unit, if you've got a litre, say you've got a litre bottle of wine, and most bottles of wine are 750 millilitres, but if you've got a litre that's 12% alcohol, then that's 12 units. A large glass of wine, 250 millilitres, So if you've got a 750 milliliter bottle of 12% wine, that would be 9 units. And then a 250 milliliter glass would be 3 units. So 7 of those, that's just one a day. And you've hit the safe limit already. And then that's, I believe, not to be drunk on consecutive days. I'm not sure, you have to check that out. But the point I'm trying to make is, I was trying to work out how much actual alcohol that is, and I'm not too great at maths, but I think I might have got it. So you've got a litre that's 12% alcohol. So if you had a litre that was 100% alcohol, that would mean that a unit is 10 millilitres. So if you think about a pint of beer as like a 5% beer is about 3, I believe, units. 3 units is 30 milliliters, which if you get a syringe is like this. So now you have several of those. If you've had several of those, and you'll know that just this amount can have profound effects on you. Profound effects, you know, if you know what drunkenness is and the feeling the next day. But you might not get the feeling the next day. What I'm trying to say is it's an incredibly potent poison. It's just heavily diluted in alcoholic drinks. But you might not get hangover because you may be continuously drinking each day. There's one of the things that I got tripped up by was when I was young, someone said to me, oh, I had a drink, and they said, oh, look how you feel now. This is, you know, imagine feeling like this every day and having to drink. Well, some people don't feel like that every day, and they think that they're not damaging themselves. Well, you'll have to get your scans to see about that. But you could well be damaging your relationships, your mental health, even if your physical health is still intact. Anyway, what I wanted to say to you is you don't need alcohol. And this problem with your relationship that alcohol gives you rest from, or this problem with work, or this stress, or this anxiety, or this depression that you have, could well be, at least if it is not entirely a misappropriation of alcohol's effects, you know, the stress of this situation, it's actually the stress of being in withdrawal from alcohol on a chronic level that you think is the stress of this situation or this mental health condition or whatever. And then when 3 months after quitting or a year down the line, you realize, no, it was the alcohol all along. So I want to say that Homer Simpson was right in a way. If you are somebody who is drinking over the safe limits, if you are a habitual drinker, these things that are wrong in your life that you think are the reasons to drink are most likely, if not caused entirely by the drink, exacerbated or severely exacerbated by the drink. And you will not know until you're well clear of alcohol, well clear. And there's nothing that can be said. If you are, what can you say to somebody who has an excessive drinking problem or a habitual drinking problem, and you recognize from the outside, you know, somebody who, if you know somebody, there's nothing you can say. In fact, this video is pretty much pointless, and I don't even know why I'm making it, but it's just a chance maybe. But I think I'm fooling myself to think that there's a chance. There's nothing. You're under a spell. You are under a spell until you are clear of it for months. And even the most shocking scares will not stop people. So I think that's probably the end of the video. I want to tell you though, and you will not believe me if you believe that you need alcohol, but you do not. You don't. And neither did I. and now I'm paying the price. I have chronic pain. I have cirrhosis of the liver. Um, I had severe anxiety, which I was prescribed off-label antipsychotics for. Years later, I developed psychosis. I've now got a diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder, which is like a combination of bipolar and schizophrenia, and I believe that's caused by the antipsychotic drugs, which I believe may well not have been prescribed to me had my anxiety not been exacerbated, severely exacerbated by drinking, which also I was prescribed antidepressants, and I believe that also led to yet further drinking. So what can I say? You won't believe me. You won't listen. If you know somebody who and you can see they've got a problem, they won't listen to you either. In fact, if you tell them they've got a problem, they'll probably blame you. In fact, they're probably fed up with you. And if you've got somebody that you care about and you try and tell them, that they're not going to want to listen to you. Alcohol is your God, and you believe you are God over alcohol. It's so tragic. It's tragic. You're completely wrong. You've got it totally back to front. That alcohol is not the solution, it's the problem. Take care. Hi, I'm back again with a quick addendum, appendix, whatever. I've given just one side of the coin of you do not need alcohol. I've completely neglected to state that 3 months after quitting, a year down the line, you'll think, why? The joy thing, you think, oh, when I drink, I feel great. Or, if you do feel great, all these fun I've had is great time, but it's so much more fun to be had off the stuff. Much, much, much more fun. And you'll be so much happier. And you won't believe me, but I just wanted to say that's the other side of it. It's not just that these stresses that are caused by alcohol, you're blaming your reasons to drink, because you're blaming other things for those stresses, but it's actually the alcohol that's stressing you. But also the joy and the happiness and the function are so much more to your benefit. Down the road, you'll think, why did I not do this years ago? Oh, I'd like to quit, and I know maybe it's not good for my health, but I do have a good time. Well, you'll have so much better time, much better time off the stuff. But you need to get through at least several months before you'll reap those rewards. 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, and just gradually you just see these improvements. So one day you think, oh, why did I? But that doesn't make you safe. You can go back to drinking at any point, and I've gone back to a day here and a day there, despite being 11 years since I quit drinking daily. And I could go back tomorrow and become a habitual drinker and die within 6 months, even though I've got a diagnosis of cirrhosis. There's no safe point. Anyway, I just wanted to add that because I think it's important to say. A lot of people will be thinking, "Oh, but I'm gonna miss having all this fun with my friends," and you've got to go through this thing of readjusting how you relate to life. Obviously, because everything could well be, if you're a habitual drinker, everything is going to revolve around alcohol. But once you've reprocessed things and you've accustomed to living your life without it, you'll be so glad you did. So glad. Okay, and that's the bizarreness of the power of the stuff, that even though you'll be so glad, you could easily just suddenly the next day go straight back to it, and the next day believe, It was the right thing. It sorted out my problems, even though that the problems now that you think you've got, you didn't have the day before. But you won't know that. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful drug. It completely gets you. You don't need it.